Everyone, it's Dr. Kim Duramo. I actually just did an Instagram live with Bernadette Logue from the Daily Positive, who's just an amazing woman. And she was in New Zealand and now she moved to Spain and has just really been on her own authentic journey and created, a real lightness in her own life and realized so many truth principles that, we're free. We are free to be here and create. We are sovereign. And the more we let go of the structures that we've been functioning in, let go of the idea that I'm this limited being and I have to do this and I have to do that and I'm not free. And we begin to question that and say, well, what else might be possible? Even though I don't see it or feel it or believe it, what else might be possible? We awaken to something higher. And we talked about the workshop that I'm having next week. And we also talked a little bit about the Be the Medicine program. And once I got rolling, talking about that, was really inspired to share a little bit more and share with the world a little bit more about what that is. Right now, it's 2021, the end of 2021. There are a lot of beings on the planet who are here to assist this global awakening, who are here to assist humanity. Humanity, a lot of us have been really, really lost in the separation paradigm. And in separation, we're like grasping, give me what I need, and compromising, right? I'll do anything. And it's a codependence with the universe, right? Like not just with our relationships, but with everything, with money, with our work, with our boss or even our children, where we're in this like a tug of war to get what we think we need or what we want, because we're looking through the lens of separation. Separation meaning, I'm a physical being, I'm over here, what I want is over there. Instead of actually connecting, like even just connecting in our own body, being fully here to have an experience where we begin to realize, whoa, we're not separate, we're connected. I can send an intention or think about a person and have an effect on their physiology, have an effect on their brain state and what they're thinking. And then all of a sudden that person calls me. This isn't a new understanding at all. There have been decades and decades and decades of scientific and medical research demonstrating that connection, that even people who don't know they're being intended for would have a healing effect, and they look at like two groups and these groups are being prayed for and these groups are just the control group and nothing's happening. And the people didn't know they were, in the study, this was back in the 80s, but they would have better outcomes in the hospital, shorter stays, less deaths, less complications. People would heal much faster. The first I heard of this was the Bird Prayer Studies, BYRD. You can look it up. And it was a revolutionary study because they were like, whoa, there's a non-local effect that we have, meaning the doctor doesn't just, physically do something to the patient gets better, but these practitioners were intending remotely, and it had a physiologic effect on the bodies of the patients. Whoa, how does that happen? When we begin to understand that we aren't separate, it's very easy to operate this way and realize, like, of course I can affect other beings and things in my life. And so right now we are moving from where the world is like in this graspy state of I'm separate and I've got to get what I want and I've got to manipulate and I've got to work hard, and we're like compromising ourselves, versus the awareness, I am that which I'm seeking. And if I have an inspiration to, like I did, right, to move from the conventional medical model and actually be in creating something very different, it's not because that's just what I want. It's because it's an answer to a calling for a part of the collective of individuals who want to participate with that and receive from what I'm doing. And so when I created the Be the Medicine course, it was for these other individuals. There's a lot of us here who were part of that as well, who are part of like leading that and assisting that and creating new structures, not just in health and wellness, but financial structures and educational structures and relationship structures, for us living in a much more free, organic, and authentic experience in the world. And this morning I was listening to something by Brad Johnson, who's just a really cool guy, and he's really pretty conscious. And he was sharing about how there are so many beings who've come to the planet right now to remember this for the purpose of global awakening, to bring people into this awareness. And so if you're one of those people who either you know or you don't know, that you're here to create a higher structure, you're here to contribute something that maybe doesn't make sense right now, you're here to play in a bigger way than what like the world is telling you, like, put the, dot the I and cross the T and be this and be that, and then you'll get by. But you're like, wow, I'm putting my power outside of me. That, following the rules that are created outside of me. Are those rules actually true? Are those rules actually who I am? Is this actually true for me? What is it in me that's ready to awaken? What is it in me that I'm ready to be? Who do I decide that I am? And what am I here to create? Because I guarantee you what you're here to create is infinitely greater and more powerful than any of all the structures that have ever been created in our society. Like all of them, right? The financial structure, the educational structure, the medical structure, which, they call it the, they're like, it's like a medical mecca, right? It's like this big, powerful fortress of whatever, but it actually has no power anymore. There's no power in a system that makes money from people staying sick. Right? There's no power in a system that that thrives from people staying poor and enslaved, right? Like our financial system. There's no power in a system, in our education system, for example, that keeps people obedient and disconnected from themselves, right? They'll do what you say to get the star, but they can't actually innovate or create something that hasn't been created before. There's no power in those systems. And we've already seen that these are falling out. Well, if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably seen like, well, there's something wrong with this picture. This isn't really working to create a thriving society. And right now we're at this apparent crossroads where it's like, will we choose to clamp down in survival fear and do as we're told and just follow the rules so we can live? Oh, I'll do whatever you tell me. Or will we question that? And choose, no, I'm going to think for myself. I'm going to answer the questions for myself. I'm going to get clarity for myself. I'm going to connect within for what's true for me. And in order to even think of that, we've got to realize on some level, there's a truth that comes through me that is higher than the one that comes from outside of me. So yes, cuff it. We need the systems to crumble. Exactly. And I'm grateful to see, I've been grateful through this whole thing in a way I haven't really been able to talk about a lot. To see the systems crumbling, because I've known since I was very, 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 very young that this was not the true world. This was not the authentic world. This was not the world that would support humanity in more aliveness. This was a world that actually keeps humanity suppressed and keep us from knowing our power, and that this is not sustainable. This couldn't continue because we are going to see, right? How do we see? When we get in enough pain, we awaken. When we get in enough lack, we wake up and go, wait a minute, this isn't working. So eventually more and more people will come to the realization that choosing fear and clamping down in tension and control doesn't ever work to create prosperity, doesn't ever work to even create survival. Because a lot of people are like, well, I don't care about prosperity, I just want to survive. It'll actually be to your demise. Even just look at your health, right? What's going to happen in your health if you stay in fight or flight all day? You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to throw a blood clot. You're going to have an autoimmune disease. There's a million ways you will start to die. And, it might seem like it's a 10-second survival hit, but it is certainly not for the long term or even the near sooner, short term. It's going to lead to your demise, even just physiologically, physically. But it's true in other ways too, in your relationships and your money and your business, right? If you operate in survival fear, it's going to be to the demise of all of these. So in the Be the Medicine program is where I'm working with a small group of individuals. We've run this many times over the last 6 years. It's always been very, very, very powerful. But it's for those individuals who know I am here to operate in a higher way, even if I don't even really know what that is yet, or I think I know what it is, but I know it could work a lot better for me, to step into clarity, because it will change the way your brain works and functions. So you have higher awareness, higher wisdom, and clarity much more easily. And to also step into creativity. You are a creator in your life. Whether you really are aware of that or not. You're like, why would I create this illness? Why would I create that I'm having this problem? It's usually a subconscious creation, but it's in your system. Your system is creative, and it is creating what you see on the canvas of your life. And so if you're ready to take full responsibility to step into who you're actually here to be, because it's not just for you. Yeah, Leah loves recognizing your true power. And it keeps you in that positive mindset as well as benefiting the other. Yes, so that's unity consciousness, right? I can't actually win if someone else is losing. I can't actually win if I'm getting and grasping and in compromising myself, right? I can only win when I align with something higher. And I can only create something higher when I align with something higher. So those new structures will come in. They'll be clear, they'll be apparent, it'll be like a no-brainer. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. When you step into this alignment. And so the Be the Medicine program isn't like, here's what you got to do to make your life work. It's here's how you step into who you are so that your life automatically works. It will show you. The stuff it will come in for you. That's how creative your system is. And I had done a lot of like, oh my God, like every course and everything imaginable to try to figure out like, how do I make my life be what I want? But what it was actually doing was, it's like you got the canvas and you're like, oh, I don't like what's there. Let me move around the parts on the canvas, versus realizing I'm the projector. I can go in the projector room. So there's the work, right? Where's the projector room? How do I shift what's happening in the projector room so that what's getting shown onto the canvas is very different? And it's aligned with the heart's knowing and the heart's desire, which is always, always abundant. And it always feeds your body and feeds your life and feeds your family and feeds your world. So I did want to share a little more about the Be the Medicine program for any of you who know you are here to be a part of this. It's at drkimd.com/BTM for more of the information of what does the investment look like? What does the the work look like that we do together? There are live calls we do twice a month. It's a very intimate group, definitely guaranteed to be life altering. And even if you are just feeling out the page, like even if you don't choose it, but just feel out what's here and what's available, it will shift in your system that there's this higher possibility. So even if you're like, I don't know, but you read the page and you feel into it, it will shift things in your own system to allow a higher way of functioning. If there are any questions, you can reach out directly at support@drkimd.com. And the workshop next week is on Tuesday, this, whatever that day is, in November. I think it's the 16th. But we'll do this workshop, which is free. And it's kind of the intro to the Be the Medicine program. It's the intro to how does the technology of your system work to create? How does your brain, how do we change the brain so I'm receptive to higher thinking, higher wisdom, and I can see the path? How do we find the path of getting out of what I am doing and moving into something else, right? That's another creation. You can't power your way through that and bust down the walls and try to create something else, like show me the way, from desperation. You can only do that when you shift your alignment. So how do I do that to know like, this is not fluid to work in this job or to be in this relationship and it feels like a rock and a hard place. I can't get out of it. How do you actually create it so the path opens and possibility appears? Because you are that powerful. So thank you for being here. Green Lupines, seeking to create and produce and less consuming. Yep. And if you know you are a light worker, an awakened being, someone who's here to assist humanity's awakening, and you're like, I think that's why I even came in. This is for you. This is for you. So the workshop is at drkimd.com/workshop. And that's free. That's for everyone. And if you want to go forward into this creative prosperity of Be the Medicine, there are a limited number of spots available. It's at drkimd.com/BTM. And that is on offer as well. We've had already some people join, and I'm super excited to connect with you. So I would love to hear from you on this, about your awakening, about what's happening, about what you're realizing, about who you are and what may be possible for you versus like who you've bought in what you've bought into and maybe felt like you've outgrown and it's limiting. That's a benefit. That's not a curse. It's a benefit that this no longer fits and it feels too tight to stay in those structures. It's because we're here to create something else. All right, lots of love. I'm at drkimd.com, and I look forward to seeing you. The workshop again is at drkimd.com/workshop. You can register for free. It will send you the replay. So if you can't be there live or you're on a different time zone, register so that you will get that replay as well. And I look forward to sharing this with you. I'll see you soon.